Another shootout. Yep, another shootout. But this time the Sharks didn't win, so that kind of sucked. The Sharks lost to the Anaheim Ducks in a shootout by a final score of 2-1. So this game was pretty boring to watch. Just based on the low score, you can probably tell why. There was no offense in this game at all. The Sharks scored like 11 seconds in, but after that, they couldn't get anything going. Now, I got to give credit where credit is due, and that credit is to Sharks goaltender. He isn't the traditional starter, Dubnyk. This guy made some incredible saves, especially in overtime, where there were at the end of overtime he lost his stick. His stick got hit out of his hand, and he had to play goalie without his stick. Now he was impressive. However, he didn't play super well in the shootout. But granted, a shootout, like I've said before, is not easy to defend as a goalie because you got a guy coming full speed at you, or making moves, and trying to score at will. So I think Dubnyk definitely had his best game of the year. And I feel bad for him because a lot of these games he plays well, but he just can't get it done. And I think the reason why is because the Sharks can't play offense. Now, besides that 11 seconds in, and that goal, by the way, was by Logan Couture, and the assist was to Evander Kane, who had just a speedy attack after winning a faceoff, and Mario Ferraro also had the assist. So that was a good goal. But besides that, the offense was like a joke. Like watching this game was like watching paint dry. It was really boring. Watching pretty much like 4 full periods of no scoring because, like I said, they scored really early into the game. As for the Ducks, they did score in the second period. Now, the Sharks, I saw an interesting stat, this year are getting outscored. The second period is where the Sharks play their worst hockey. The Sharks always get outscored in the second period. Now, it was only one goal tonight. Isaac Lunderstrom for the Ducks had a goal, and the assist was to Hampus Lindholm, and it was a pretty sweet goal. Dubnyk couldn't really get it. It was out of his control. I got to give this guy credit. If our goalies are pretty good, I mean, Jones is a really good goalie in my opinion. I think he gets a lot of unnecessary hate because you got to think it's not really his fault, either of these guys. It's the offense and defense. These guys are getting left out to dry, and then on offense they can't score. I mean, I think last night the offense was a lot better. The shootout win, they couldn't, they won in a shootout obviously, but they did score in regulation and they did come back, right? So I think last night was definitely a lot better of a game. Now, I think in terms of where this game stands in terms of importance, I don't think it really matters, judging the fact that both these teams are pretty low. However, it would have been good to win, and it kind of annoys me that we're probably going to see a lot more games like this, just judging on how they played. The Sharks have their first, they still get a point too because they did lose in the extra time. They lost, so they get a point for that, but they're 4-5-1 now, and the Ducks are 5-5-3. And as for the Sharks' schedule, they'll play the LA Kings on Tuesday, February 9th. And the Kings are kind of similar in the sense that they're not a very good team, and the only games being played this year are interdivision to limit traveling, which could work to the Sharks' advantage some ways where they get to play these teams more. But they got to win these games, right? If they can't be losing to... I feel like the only reason they lost this was because of poor offense. If they can score, 3 goals a game, I think they're going to win because hypothetically Devin Dubnyk or Martin Jones can make these saves, and like they did tonight, or like Dubnyk did tonight, right? He made saves, and it's just an issue that the Sharks' defense and offense, more so offense, I'd say, cannot produce. And in the shootout, the Sharks did get a goal by Ryan Donato, and he's really good in the shootout. Like he's really good with his handwork. He can just put it in. But Dubnyk did not score, and one other guy. And as for the Ducks, they scored 2 in the shootout, and Dubnyk only made 1 save. So tough loss, right? It was a close one. Pretty boring game in general. Like I said, they'll play the LA Kings next. And thank you guys so much for watching.